Today we have our first lesson from the course Modern Recruiter, and the name of this lesson is Preparing for the Search. My name is Michael Pritula, or Mike Pritula, and here you can see my experience. I started as a recruiter at Alpha Bank, and it was 17 years ago. Then I continued at Starlight Media as a head of recruitment and adaptation department. Then I worked for Wargaming, then Preply and Ideals. For these two companies, Preply and Ideals, I built recruitment department from the scratch, exactly. So that's about me. In my work, I bet on these world-known companies. So I ensure that I use the most modern technologies at the moment for me and my recruiters. This course, it expects from you that you do your homework, and doing your homework, you can receive our diploma, which you can attach to your LinkedIn profile. Okay, here you can see course program. It consists from 8 classes, and today is our first class. Program of this lesson, of this class, is we will talk about who is a recruiter and competency model for a modern recruiter. We will talk about their ideal recruiting process. We will talk about searching for candidates and building a funnel, how to choose automation tools, and gathering information from hiring managers for our job description. So let's start. Who is a recruiter and competency model for a modern recruiter? Being at this class, you are thinking about becoming a recruiter, or you may be already a recruiter and you want to be just the A player in this sphere. Who is a recruiter? This person, whoever brings A players into the business, or not, if it can't. The main business partner in any company, the person with whom the business begins, and the person on whom the business ends if it has lack of experience and lack of knowledge. What modern companies do in modern recruitment? As you mentioned before, our course is called Modern Recruiter because we will talk about modern approach in recruitment. So what modern companies do? First, they use Scorecard, and you will learn what is this. They develop a competency profile for vacancies. They test their applicants and their hard skills. They use this kind of, I call it SHL type tests to assess aptitude. They make references for every potential candidate. They use automation such as PeopleForce. They use pipeline and funnel analytics to better understand the performance. They use sourcing for all requisitions. I mean, sourcing as a special approach, we will talk about it later, like Boolean search, X-ray search. They use browser plugins. Again, we will talk about it later. They use Calendly for making appointments. Calendly is a service, it's connected to a calendar. They make recording of all interviews, prepare detailed vacancy report, and they do nurturing of candidates, chain of letters. This is just a checklist from my experience from those companies that I built recruitment process from the scratch. Here is an example of perfect recruitment report after all of this were done. You can see that a lot of work is done by this recruiter in the process. And here is an example of perfect recruiter, perfect professional for this sphere. Okay, here is example of candidate speech, right? If you can see, it's very well prepared. It has very good copywriting. It has emoji in it. It has good text and good formatting and everything. This is a kind of modern approach that modern recruiters use for their work. Okay, now we will talk about competency model for the modern recruiter. I think that the building stones of modern recruiters are sourcing, copywriting, sales, assessment or evaluation, project management, and account management. This is the building stones of every recruiter. Now you can check all of these competencies, what you have and at what levels. I provide you with this link, so just check it, just click it and make your copy. Actually, it will propose you to make a copy, right? And then after reading every string, you have to choose which description from junior, middle, or senior recruiter describes you the best. And then you put just number one, in the cell, right after the description. So like, for example, for plugins, you put number one here. For Google search operators, you put number one here. For Boolean search, you don't know it, so you don't put any number in any cell. And the same for all these items. As a result, you will receive your current level of your recruitment efforts. And of course, you will see the whole personal development plan for yourself. For example, if you are here at the moment, so here is your development plan. You have to move here and then here. Great. Now we will talk about ideal recruitment process from A to Z. Let's talk about this. Here on the right, you can see picture. It's a very small, but it's clickable here. So just click this link and zoom in to see the whole picture. Like, let me show you this. The quality is not as good as it could be here after clicking the link, but this whole process describes ideal process that I built for several companies, and it consists of planning stage, and we will talk about it in details later, preparing stage, marketing stage, sourcing stage, screening stage, and of course closing stage. If you follow this ideal process, ideally, you will receive the best results possible, like job offer acceptance at 95% and very good job or application or requisition close terms and everything you are expected to do at your work. Great. So let's start from the beginning. For yourself, to better understand your upcoming efforts in recruitment, I advise you to use pipeline forecasting. It's a tool that you can use. Again, as you see underlined text, it's a link. Also, I try to not forget to put this emoji to remind you that this is a link. Just click it and examine this document in details. What it does, you put your ratios or your yield ratio here. So this is a percent of how many people come from one stage to another in general or in usual for your positions. And then you can forecast how many of those you need to do at every stage. So as soon as you put all your conversion rate at every stage, then you put number one, for example, for one position to close, you will see how many responses or applications you have to obtain. Then you move it here. As soon as you know how many candidates you have to add to your pipeline, you can plan your efforts, like putting here the sourcing channels, putting here all weeks that you are going to work on your position, on your requisition. You can find numbers that can help you to plan what you have to do with every sourcing and how many candidates you have to find from each. And then you have at the bottom of this page some activities regarding next stages. Okay, now let's talk about automation tools, because we are talking about modern recruitment today. We will talk about the first stage later, but let's move on with modern recruitment approach. Modern recruitment is based on automation. Like it's like, you know, it's like having manual transmission in your car or automatic transmission. It's a very different experience and very different performance. I recommend you to consider buying a recruitment automation tool like Breezy HR, Recruitee, Lever, or I recommend you to pay attention to this one exactly, PeopleForce, which I highly recommend because it's best price for best value. You will never find something better, and it's all-in-one HRIS system, HRIS, so you can use different modules, not just for ATS, but all modules are connected to each other, so it's better for you, for your company, not to pay a lot of money for different systems, but to have all in one system. Here you can see Lever, it's another ATS, but here you can see that like PeopleForce, it has a lot of different modules. It has very good statistics analysis, very good features. So I recommend you go and follow this link and discover more details and analyze if it fulfill your needs. Again, some ideas why to use this system. Here you can see the funnel, which is very useful and very easy to use comparing to if you try to build the funnel with Google Spreadsheet or Microsoft Excel. And also PeopleForce can help you to prepare job offers and to sign those offers with your applicants. And this is like a bonus, our students have a discount from PeopleForce. Great. If you don't have money for any ATS, I highly recommend you at least start from Trello or something similar like Airtable, maybe Notion, whatever you want, just to organize all your information in one system, not to use old-fashioned Excel or spreadsheet. If you are considering this ATS, you have to pay attention to different features. This is a list of features I paid attention to when I chose the ATS for companies I worked. You can see user experience is highlighted here because I think that as soon as recruiters spend a lot of time in ATS, the user experience should be the best, because you don't want to work with those ATS that don't provide you with the excellent user experience. Great. This is just basic of modern recruitment. Let's start from the very beginning. How modern recruiters work. They start from gathering information from the hiring managers for the job description. Okay, for gathering information from hiring managers, you also have another tool from me. Here, the tool that helps you to organize every information, to gather information, to plan your work, to plan candidate evaluation and everything. So just follow and check this document as well. The whole recruitment process can be divided into different phases. The first phase is preparation phase. It's very important. It's very often omitted by recruiters, and then later they have problems. If you skip this phase, you will see the bad result later. You will face so many problems that you don't want to face with. So I don't recommend you to skip this phase at all. I divide this phase into two different sub-phases. The first one is developing marketing materials. Marketing is very important for recruitment, because if you don't promote your job requisition, if you don't promote your company, no one wants to work with you. They would prefer another company with a good promotion, with a good marketing materials, with good sales process and everything. What you should prepare at this stage. This is a list of 5 points or items that we will consider in details. First, it's profile. It's a very bad idea to just copy paste the job description from LinkedIn or other source and to put into your job description. Your job description should consist of profiles, of profile that was prepared before it by a hiring manager, maybe with your help, and it should consist of three things. First, it's mission, job mission. Why we hire this person? What would happen if we don't hire this person? Then objectives and outcomes. So what we expect from this person? It's not job duties, it's not job responsibilities, it's objectives and outcomes. Job responsibilities is very common and it don't have selling points. People don't want work for job responsibilities. They want work for objectives and outcomes that are expected from them. So ask your hiring manager to write down objectives and expected outcomes, maybe from the first year of this person. And this is what will attract your ideal candidate. And of course, competencies. What do you expect from your ideal candidate based on these objectives and outcomes? As soon as it's ready, you are ready to build a vacancy text. Vacancy text or vacancy description is something that shouldn't be written down by hiring manager because they are not copywriters, they don't have this experience, they don't know how it works. It's something you have to prepare based on this profile. I'm giving you the ideal job description, which helped me several times in different companies to attract the best candidates. You will start from the generic information about your company and your job requisition. Then you will describe what you value in your candidate. Then you put expected results from here and competency from here. But then you add something more. You add something that is going to make an advantage for the candidate. Something that you don't really expect because it's hard to find in candidates, but something that tell your ideal candidate, hey, it looks like it's you. It looks like these high bar expectations match your profile. You have to apply. This is a real situation. It also it also tells your candidates that, hey, see, this company requires so high profile candidate that you have to apply. At least you will learn how to match this. And you have to pull what we offer. Very specific, not general, very detailed, something that is not common for all job requisitions in your company, but for this specific job requisition, why someone have to join your company. And then you end with call to action. Don't just end with a description. Requires the call. Great. As soon as this part is ready, you are going to prepare search strategy. Search strategy is something that you prepare with the hiring manager, and this one you prepare before actually starting your search. Why do you need search strategy? If you expect just active applicants from job boards, you don't want to search, then you don't need it. But if you know that active candidates from job boards will be not enough, and you will have to search for candidates yourself, maybe for passive candidates, then you need search strategy. Search strategy helps you to put something in a search string, in a search field, on LinkedIn, on job board, everywhere. It helps you to find your ideal candidates, because if you want to find someone, let's say on LinkedIn, you will see like thousands of profiles. If you don't know how to filter those, you will spend a lot of time considering each profile, and also you have limitations. It will show you 1,000 profiles in premium subscription and 2,500 in Sales Navigator or Recruiter subscription. So you are limited. You have put something to receive the search result as many as, let's say, 300 profiles, to check every profile and then to choose those to contact. Search strategy consists of similar job titles because if you want to search, you have to know all possible synonyms. Education, keywords that will help you filter profiles, additional keywords if you have a lot of profiles with these keywords, website, blog, forum, certifications, groups, from where we don't hunt if we have some limitations or off limits, and tools and donor companies from those that we want to hire. Maybe we hired from there previously, maybe we have good success stories with these candidates from those companies, so you have to have it on the list. And again, it's something that is prepared with the help of hiring manager with your questions and their answers. Then you prepare pitch. What is pitch? Pitch is something that you use when you contact candidates by email. Actually, it's needed for passive candidates, because if you want to make passive candidates a little bit active for considering your position, then you have to sell something. And here the template, how you can sell your job position. They try to think about recommendations, who can help you find your candidates from the very beginning, because sometimes you have ideal source that you have to go first. Maybe someone in the company knows great candidates, maybe some active networkers, maybe current members of the profession you are going to search for, maybe some meetup and event organizers, maybe trainers of courses can help you with candidates. Okay, as soon as you're ready with your marketing tools, you're going to prepare your selection tools. As soon as you find your candidates, you have to evaluate their skills and help hiring managers with those. And for this, you will have to prepare your selection tools. Let's consider in details. The first one is a scorecard. The scorecard is a very modern way to assess candidates. So you don't have a general expression about the candidate experience after the interview. You just have to put marks for every skill or every competency required for this position. So you need to have this kind of table spreadsheet that you can put marks for every candidate, for every competency, and then compare candidates to each other. You have here, scorecard from the file I gave you before, to the link, so prepare it before. Then you have to prepare all questions for the interview. So imagine you have an ideal profile from LinkedIn, or you have ideal applicant and you're going to call this person. You have to be prepared. You need the list of questions you're going to ask them. So I highly recommend prepare pre-screening questions before you start calling. Test tasks, another way. We will talk about it in details, why you need test tasks, what help you to assess candidates better than other tools. But I highly recommend to prepare for every position a job-specific test task and use it during the interview or hiring process. Then you have to plan all recruitment steps of selection, because it shouldn't be a surprise for yourself or your candidate that there is going to happen another stage of interview or something else of testing that wasn't prepared before. Okay. As soon as you are ready for starting your search, you have to double check or check list questions and to see if you have all the answers from yourself, from hiring managers, from every source you may use for it. And here the questions to hiring manager about the process to better align their expectations and your approach to each other. Great. Let's move on. You have to consider recruitment as a funnel. I showed you several funnels before, one funnel from the spreadsheet, one funnel from the PeopleForce ATS, and here's another one. What is the idea in this funnel? The idea is that recruiting is a numbers game. The more qualified candidates you consider at the top of the funnel, the better your chances of making the right choice. Take a large pool of candidates, select the most qualified candidates, and then select the best of them. So working as a recruiter, you have to build a funnel. You have to build the top of the funnel and then move people from the whole funnel and receive A players at the bottom of the funnel. This is a standard funnel statistics from just like, let's say, general process. For example, if you send 10 LinkedIn requests or 10 emails or 10 emails, you will receive one answer. From those who answer it, you will have 1 out of 5 interested in your position. Let's imagine that you call 3 and then you have 1 that is suitable for your job position. You ask them to come to interview, and from 2 you choose 1 as a candidate for final interview. 1 to 1.5 is a conversion rate from assessment to the next stage. And then you have a finalist 1 out of 3. So imagine we multiply all these conversion rates and we have 1,350 potential candidates we have to consider at the top of the funnel. This is, let's say, an ideal case. If you have less, okay, you have less, then you will have to pay more attention to it. This is an example of real funnel from one job position from my experience. Let's say sales operations role. It's 300 total candidates in the funnel added by the recruiter, both from active candidates and from passive candidates. 68 conducted phone screening. Yeah, that's a lot, but this position was very important for the company. 34 HR interview, 20 candidates were recommended to the stage of communication with the customer. I mean, hiring manager, it's internal customer. 15 candidates participated in 2 sets of tests. Yes, it was heavy tests. Again, we will talk about tests during the recruitment process later on other classes. There were 3 finalists, and we offered the job to one of them, and it was very successful hire. This is like standard. I see that 300 is like a golden number for top of the funnel. Great. This is the beginning of this class. I mean, of this course. This is the end of this class and the beginning of this course. You're welcome to it. And now you have your homework. You will have your homework every class. The homework will be the following. Fill out search strategy for your job and register and test any ATS of your choice, such as PeopleForce, or you can try Breezy HR or any other system. I don't insist on this specific. This is an example of search strategies that you have to fill with the one job title that you currently have or you may have, and you have to put all these answers here. Helpful literature. I highly recommend you read books about recruitment, like me did before when I was a recruiter. The first one, I recommend you this book, Who? Solve Your Problem Number 1. It's very popular at the moment. Top Grading. This book gives you the idea about scorecard and why it's important. Work Rules. It's from Laszlo Bock, ex-head of HR of Google. And How to Hire A Players, the idea of finding A players. A lot of companies, they like hiring A players, and A players is very popular now. There is another one book, The A Method of Hiring, but I think this 4 will be enough at the moment. Great. What's next? Next time, we will talk about searching for candidates in different sources, and then we have separate class for searching candidates on LinkedIn, Facebook, Telegram, and sending requests. And we will talk about basic of sourcing, right? So we will learn how to make Boolean search and X-ray search at the very basic level. Then we have ways to evaluate candidates. Here we will talk about different evaluation tools like competency-based interview, like different tests, like test tasks. Then we will talk about conducting interviews with candidates in details. We will learn some techniques for this, how to dive deeper. Then we will talk about identification of motivation and selling the vacancy, then organization the entire recruitment process, including reporting, and then we will have job offer and adaptation of candidates as a final of this course. That's it. I'm ready to have you on this course. I'm asking you to join this course if you are not decided yet. And let's be in touch. Just write me what was the most valuable today in comments to this video. Thank you and see you soon. Bye.